everyone, to the Kingdom REI podcast. This show really exists to encourage faith-minded believers, faith-minded real estate entrepreneurs who are really serious about growing and scaling their portfolio to have a major impact. And, sometimes we get the privilege of having guests on the show that have had a direct influence and impact on my life. And today we have that privilege of having the one and only Mr. Vinney Chopra. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Alice. You have affected my life, brother. I'm just a small part. Thank you for humbly, saying that. I'm so fortunate to be in the presence of you all, really. Yeah.
Yeah. And, and you guys, if you don't know of any story, you're going to get it today. But we talk about a lot on this show around faith and mindset and how, if you don't have faith, that's why I love having you on the show, Vinney, because you started your journey here in the United States with $7 in your pocket and you built a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio. I always think I have a cool story because I started as a pastor, but I had more than $7 in my pocket. So, but what unites us is this, and this is what I want to get into today, and I hope you'll take it from here, okay, is that I believed in something. The definition of faith, right, is the conviction of things not seen. The belief in something that you can't see. And I believed, I had a vision. The Lord called me into this, and the same thing happened. You talk about this, the manifestation of your beliefs becoming to reality. And so, walk us through your journey, and even more, particular to I want to catch up to today. You just raised $5 million in 5 days. It's unbelievable. So. But will you start there? Like when you had $7 in your pocket, did you believe or did you see this vision today? If not, how did you get to that? And what did you have to do to really begin to change your mindset?
Sure. I'd love to take back our audience. I very, humble beginning, 6 siblings living in 1-bedroom apartment with no refrigerator, no television, no, stove we did have, charcoal stove and all those things, and, no telephone at all. But when I came here to USA, since I grew up so humble, beginnings, I wanted to make something out of me, right? And then I became a mechanical engineer, then came for my MBA in marketing. That's up to now. $7, my uncle paid for my tuition, and I had to work. I in my mind, I was really thinking I got to figure out a way to earn my tuition because nobody will give me loan. University, this guy just coming from India. So that's when I sold Bible books. I don't know, Alice, if you remember. I sold Bibles and encyclopedias and children books and all. And I really truly believe in every religion because we are all same on the top, right? Almighty, who's giving us all these mind and body and soul to do the right things in this world. I believe in that. We all come for a big purpose, and that purpose is to help the humankind. I think that's what I believe in, and I'm sure everybody believes in. The key thing was when I got into promotional consulting and motivation speaking, that was a fully Christian related and organization, and I loved them.
Mm-hmm.
And every meal we would pray before. I had nothing against it, and very good friends are all my beautiful friends are Christian friends. So I'm so happy to be in your company. You bet. No, literally. So how did it all happen? I would say it's my attitude changed when I was given 7 books, $7, 7 books, 7 something, everything becomes 7 in my life. So I got Og Mandino's book. I got Winston Norman Peale's book. I was given Think and Grow Rich book. I got Greatest Salesman in the World. That's Og Mandino, by the way. Yep. And then we got Magic of Thinking Big by W.J. Schwartz. And I got Napoleon Hill's, and then Dale Carnegie's How to Influence Trend, and all these, and Tom Hopkins and other books. So I'm a product of the books, to be truthful. If I say, I owe it so much to the mentors like Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins and all of them, who have affected. I let them affect my thinking. That's the big thing. A lot of us read things, but then we say, no, I'm going to stay where I am. But I believe I should never read a book if I'm not going to get three things from there, which I'm going to apply. So I've never read a book at all, ever, I think. I just open up and I say what I can grasp, which I can apply today, you know? And that has been my ever lasting quest over the last, I'll be 70 this year, 70. And I've been in this country 44 years. So what I find is my thinking, I always didn't believe I could be where I am today, but starting in real estate, it just gave me that avenue. We were in single family homes big times. 12, 14 years back, I got into buying a duplex. I still own a duplex and make $2,400 something income comes per month. Then I bought 14 units for $180,000. That was my beginning in this world. And now we have 750 million. But how does that happen? Through syndication world. See, people say that I can buy my own things, right? But there is limited quantity of money that you want to buy or scale up. And by syndication, that's why I wrote the book, Syndication Made Easy, because I was going through some tough times understanding the concepts and I put it into there. But that's what I've done. 39 syndications so far, where I'm on the loan, I'm the principal. I think I had to only get 4 times other people join me, but things like that. But it's the manifestation of small incremental successes, let's say.
Yeah.
From 14 units to 20 units to, like that. Yeah.
So let me ask you a couple of questions, Vinney, because I think I have the real privilege of sitting and talking with you today. And I, seriously, and because I relate to your beginning stage, because I started reading those books as a Christian pastor, and I just got to say that probably I kind of did it in hiding, like I did it in secret, because I wasn't sure what people were going to think about me reading these books, but to realize the spiritual practice of faith, that really what's behind all of those books, right? Of like, it's the conviction of things not seen. And so I relate to that side of your journey with you, but I also think you and I are both in a stage of life now where we've kind of overcome the poverty mindset, right? And we realize we can go do something big, and we're operating at a pretty high level. However, here's what I'm realizing, and this is what I want to pull from you today and really get like, there's another level that I'm still not even realizing. Like there's a level of belief, there's a level of possibility that even though I had to go from kind of poverty to abundance, there's more. And I just want to tap into that with you. Like I want to know, okay, you've reached a milestone, a level of success, but do you still feel like, man, I'm still just tapping into this? Like I'm still just kind of scratching the surface, and what's being revealed to you
Oh my
in this
gosh.
season of life?
I am so glad you're talking about it, because I, putting my clear vision on for next 30 years, I will be 70. So I want to live to 100. And I know that I will live at least 29, 24 years. My grandpa passed at 94 and he was driving at 91. So I have that vision in my mind. And I'm so passionate about my new goal in life right now is to train 1 million people in real estate, 1 million people. It won't happen with this, like, meeting in the hotels or like that, but it's going to be going viral through media, through media. So that's where I am progressing right now, and doing and putting all the packets together for $4.99 or $9.97 that a million people can get, and they can get into buying their first property or second property. That's one thing going on. Then I'm also very much passionate about $2 billion goal in senior assisted living. I'm a senior, but there is a huge demand with the silver tsunami going on, which is good for next 40 years, next 40 years. So we built these beautiful communities for 16 million or so, where there are 7 acres of land, no elevators, and they have 3 to 6 courtyards, and it's got dining halls, it's got spas, it's got salons, it's got library, it's got billiard rooms, it's got grand pianos, sunrooms, and those are the assisted senior living and memory care communities we are building. We have built 30 of them so far, and we can be building 6 to 7 a year. That's my other passion, which I'm very, very focused on because the need is there. So I'm going after more retirement communities and lakes and ponds and all, rather than the jobs and the Starbucks. I'm going away from there, even though I'm buying a deal right now, which is 65 million, just fell in lap last week, and I'm raising that money, like I just said, 5.8 million or whatever I raised. And I need only 8.5. My partner is raising 8.5 million, so we'll go combine. But anyway, you know, I am at the stage right now. My third book will be coming out, which is Senior Living Investing Made Easy. Then I just met with a very personable friend of mine, Mark Victor Hansen, invited me for dinner. I was in Scottsdale last week, and he's the chicken soup of the soul. The book, 500 million copies they sold, 500 million, number one publisher and author in the world. So they're writing a fictional book on my life or something. So, it's amazing how influential people are coming, and they are bringing more and more joy, where I can be more helpful to more people. So I'm into crypto also. I know with the ups and downs of everything happening, I'm mining crypto also on a bigger scale right now, which is a real estate, but in a different way. It's the mining of the miners, the computers with the energy efficiency, and we can mine at about $12,000 a Bitcoin. And even with the crash, it's the price is 30,000. So there's a huge interest. I mean, interest is there too, millennials, and then my interest is there quite a bit. Then I'm also into med tech, a startup, and a cloud security company startup as a venture capitalist. So I'm into those. I just am buying hotels also now. I just got accepted for a uh, you know Candlewood Suites, a Marriott. I'm discussing right now at 3 o'clock today in Texas also, that I'm buying. But all these things are kind of making me just enjoy. The big thing is I want to help people to get great returns, and also feel great about education, so that they could become and get those cash flows going for themselves.
Vinny, do you ever feel like you had a season, or like what was the season? I feel like we're in a season of growth where in order to really grow, there's kind of a time of being uncomfortable or kind of being uneasy. Like what was that time for you? Because it seems like right now opportunities are flowing.
Yes,
There's opportunity after opportunity. It's kind of like you're in a great spot. But I imagine there were some times, or at least a season, where
many.
right. So walk me through one of those, and some of the lessons, or kind of how
Let
that's
me take you there. Let me take
yeah.
you there, brother. Oh my gosh. I mean, I can go over so many of them where
Well,
I
because
made.
that's kind of where I feel like I am in some ways, of like we're like, I can, what I'm saying, like we're getting to that level where it's like, but you only can get there you really can't get to the other side unless we're willing to get a little more uncomfortable. So I want to know, like, how you push through, and kind of how
Sure,
you came out on the other side of some of that.
sure. As when I started, I was buying very small properties, C class, C plus value adds. And then I got caught in some time where contractors didn't do good jobs, and I had to make decisions as a CEO, even though I paid money from my own pocket to give returns to my investors. I've done that. Even property didn't produce, but I took out my savings and my wife, because, and those investors, they remember those things. That's how I got from one investor to 480 investors now. And they have $5 million. My top investors have close to $4 to $5 million with me invested,
Wow.
and I've doubled, tripled, and all. But you're right. Let's look at the hardships. I got cyber hacked about, I lost $391,000 because when people were cyber hacking me, they said, okay, wire the money to this different routing number and all that stuff. I got caught in that. So I just made a decision. I'll make it good for my investors. So I paid the 50,000 and the 100,000 from my own pocket, to make it good for them. So those were some hardships. The other hardship I'm thinking about is Fannie Mae. I was selling a property in Atlanta, Georgia, and they came and foreclosed on me. Can you believe? Foreclosed. I reversed the foreclosure within 3 days, got a loan for 8.5 million bridge loan that completed in 15 days to pay off the Fannie Mae.
Oh my gosh.
I lost sleep like nobody's business. I mean, it was crazy time. And they wanted me to do CapEx here, CapEx there, and all. I said, you know what? I'm selling this property. I can't put more money into it. They wouldn't understand anyway. But I think situations have come. I can write a whole book, maybe 10 books on it. But the attitude, that's where I find, by just keeping your attitude on, focus on the ball, right? The focus on the ball will get you everywhere. That's what I stayed in. I stayed in my lane. And I said, okay, I'm going to make decisions which will propel my investors' interest and propel their interest, and then growth, right? Which is what is very, very, I would like to talk to anybody who is talking to me right now, listening. Investors are the key to any kind of growth. So we need to be cultivating investors. My $100,000 investors, now they have grown into $1 million investors. I have come up with the whole game plan now, with a 9-year game plan with my assisted senior living, where anybody who gives me $1 million, I'll give them 3.65 million in 9 years or 8 years, and give them 1.5 million depreciation loss. So actually they'll have a negative 1.5 million. They give me $1 million, and I'll convert their money every 3 years and put them in a 1031 exchange so that they never have to pay a tax, and then convert it all the way to 7.5 to 9 years. That's the
Wow.
ripple. Yeah.
So that's your big project right now, is
Right now.
kind of, you're coming out with that, rolling that out.
Rolling that out. Yeah. It's for the ultra rich. And where am I going to get the ultra rich? You're not going to believe it. I'm going to the influencers. I'm going to the people who have ultra rich in their masterminds. I just gave a presentation in Ritz-Carlton in Sarasota just about 6 weeks back. I raised 16 million commitments in 1 hour.
You said 1.6?
16, yeah, not 60, no, 16 million, 16 million.
So
in 1 hour.
You went, this is bad. That's a big number. Let's back up a little bit. Understand. So you went to this guy's mastermind who's kind of drawing, who serves what you would call ultra rich.
Ultra rich, yeah.
Let me ask you this: how did you build a relationship with that guy where he trusted you with his audience?
That's a so good point. He's connected to Tony Robbins, and I've been knowing him for 3 years. He's come in my mastermind. I've met them. He's taken tours of my senior assisted livings. He's totally bought into, right? So that's when it takes time. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. But now we are good to raise as much money because the circle is getting bigger and bigger. Like I just met with Mark and Ken Walsh and Walter, and then I'm reaching out to this institution, big institution in the Hollywood, you know, where there is so much money with these actors and actresses, and they don't know where to put it. So we are trying to diversify their portfolios, you know.
Well, and I love what you're saying too, and this is what I've realized over the last several months is you're starting to play at another level, and because you're playing bigger, you're able to like people can fit inside of that vision. I think where, and I'd love to hear, you know, where you started to think bigger, because most folks complain about not having enough resources, but the reason they don't have enough resources is because they're not playing at a level to attract the quality of resources they need to go bigger, right? So like because you're thinking bigger, you're taking bigger actions. A guy like that can now fit inside of your ecosystem, where when you were buying C-class deals, there was probably no room for him to get involved,
No,
right? You couldn't even put all of his money to
totally,
work.
totally. So you're so right. No, you're so right what you're saying. See, I started 14 years back. I never took 25,000. I never took 50. I let some people go by. My thinking was if I put 100,000, this is 14 years back, as the minimum, that their friends will also be in the same peer group, you know, at work and all. So most of my investors are directors, they're business owners, they are doctors, they are attorneys, you know, Silicon Valley, big people, right? Making 2 million a year kind of thing. So that's when they opened up their wallets bigger and bigger. And then they start boasting, you know, with their friends, hey, you may like to look into Vinney. That's how it happened, you know.
Yeah.
So having that, and then I did tier investing. I would love to share that. What that means is 7 years back, I started doing 100,000, 250, 500 level. Wow. So I said, you know, if people want to take little extra, one extra percentage in their returns, they might jump from 100 to 250. And I was correct. A lot of people moved to 250. Then I started doing 500. Then those people moved to 500. They wanted to get extra returns. So now I've moved to $1 million.
Do you think you needed to go and do that? Like looking back, Vinny, do you feel like that was the journey you had to take, or do you feel like you missed some shortcuts?
You know, good point. Very good point. I got stuck in Texas for almost 14 years, right? Then I went to Georgia. I wanted to build a very big portfolio in Georgia. I couldn't do it. I just did two. And then I was held back to Florida. Florida was flourishing. So I went there. I think the biggest challenge, I think if I had to do it again, see, it's a very small business. It's me, my wife, my daughter, and then our, you know, accounting department and personal department. At the peak, I had 135 people in my team. But, you know, at that time, we were managing all our assets.
Right.
Now we don't because we have only five, six left, you know, big ones. And we have Bell Partner and RAM Partners, good, you know, operators. They manage it for us. And senior living, we are managing ourselves at this time. But, you know, answer your question, I think three things happened in my life. One, my coach told me, hey, you got to raise double the money to get half the money. So if you want $10 million, you should get commitments for 20 million. I don't know if that's true or not. In my case, I collect 99.7% of the commitments. So, in other words, I always tell my investors, hey, don't give me soft commitment. It's a real commitment and you're going to bring the money home, right?
Yeah.
And then I used to give them 2% interest on their money when they wired the money up to the day of closing.
Wow.
So that was amazing. They were getting zero money in their checking or savings. They would wire. So I never lost a sleep in my life, you know, of 14 years, what I've been doing. Money comes into the bank way before when it's needed, you know.
Yeah. Cameron.
Yeah. Vinny, hey, good to
Hey,
meet
brother.
you, brother. I'm
Yeah.
jealous of your energy. It's quite captivating. You know, you seem like the kind of guy based on your story and just I see you around on social media too, who inspires a lot of people. But everybody I know that is good at inspiring has been inspired. So like you came here young, you came here broke, you've turned yourself into something quite significant. Like who in your life do you think played the most significant role
Mm.
in turning you into somebody poor, brand new in America into a very substantial businessman,
Powerhouse. Yeah.
powerhouse?
I would say I have to really, really thank so many people. The list will go on and on and on. From my early career, when George Butler comes to my mind, this is 44 years back. He was my manager, teaching me the skills how to sell books, literally. Steve Lewis comes to my mind, who was my immediate manager. Tom McDowell comes to my mind, who was the executive CEO of my company with promotional. Spencer Hayes, he passed away, a billionaire who actually had 5, 6 companies. He had his hand on my head. I learned a lot from him. He wrote in his business card. He was a billionaire salesperson, literally. His business card always said salesperson. So I paid tribute to him. And then, Jim Rohns and Zig Ziglar's, and I would go to all these seminars and Tony Robbins, and I mean, you name it. I think all those mentors have really taught me who I am today, literally. It is the books I read and the positivity. Even today, at the age of 70, I'll be 70 in August. 70, right? Not 17. Well, I'm actually behaving like 17, though. My wife tells me after 50, I started going back. I told my kids also, our kids are 39, 38, and 35, Neil and Monica. But I said, Daddy's getting younger every birthday. You're getting older. So we'll meet somewhere in the middle sometime. So after 50, I started going back. So this year I'll be 30.
I love that. That's great. I'm going to do that when I turn 50.
But the mentors are amazing. Even today, I get up in the morning, miracle morning, when I do and pay gratitude and everything. I listen, I watch. If I'm on elliptical, if it's not day to go out, I like to roam around in my neighborhood, love it, and podcast is going on, some very positive podcast. And then otherwise, I watch lots of, videos, and you got to get your mind straight, just realigning it every day. Then your day goes by 17 hours. Sometimes I'm talking 17 hours a day. My wife says, aren't you tired? I said, no. What happened? She says, you've been on phone all this time, Zoom and all. I said, no, I'm ready. Let's go.
So you're
Vinney-
still like
go ahead.
you still take in. You're still doing the personal development. You're
Oh,
still,
definitely. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh yeah. I will keep on doing it until
Yeah.
I die. Because see, you never can really be. I have ups and downs, but I have very less ups and downs. And then the key thing is my mind says, Vinny, here you got something. It's crucial. It's, you could take upset about it or you do something about it, right? So that's the key thing. I just take everything coming on. I said, let's bring them on, anyway, because I'm
So-
doing through some loans, some other things, some sales. There are lots of legal paperwork and this and that. And all that.
Who are the content creators you listen to today? I'm curious to know
Oh my
who
gosh.
motivates you, who inspires you.
I would say that if you want to really get excited and inspired by Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, amazing book, Miracle Morning by Brother Hal Alrod, right? Just a great book, right? The other book, which I don't need too many business books, I think I know what I am doing or whatever. It's the whole thing which really powers me are some autobiographies, of successful people. Yeah, that's the big one. I just get, I, I'm I have ADD also, by the way. I mean, attention disorder. I just want to, grab something and I say, okay, can I implement it? If I can't, let me get into a systematic way to get the jobs done. So that's why I believe one thing I was sharing yesterday, somebody interviewed me, personal brand, AJ interviewed me yesterday, Corey and AJ Vaden, very beautiful people. I met them after 15 years in Sarasota, actually. But key thing is you got to tell your brain, I can do this and this and this and this and this, rather than saying I can only do this or this. See, when we do this or this or this, we are going in the negative direction, not abundance direction. When we say that I can do this, let me figure it out quickly, and then do this and this and this and this. Like I have 9 companies now, 9, and each one is working, in a different path. Yeah.
Vinney, I didn't. I'm so grateful to finally get to meet you. I just think there's a lot that we share in terms of just the reality that we don't know much, and we really needed a lot of help to get to where we are. And I appreciate how you give so much credit to your mentors. And what I love most of all is that you're 70 years old, really 50, and still growing, still developing, still realizing that there's another level of faith, belief that you can tap into. And so grateful to have you on the show today.
No, thank you so much for spending the time, and everybody listening or watching. It's a pleasure, and love to, if I may say, that the book, the Syndication Made Easy, Apartment Syndication Made Easy, love to give out free. Just
yes, I was going to ask you what is your gift today, or where would you like to send folks? So please share that.
Love to. It's vinneychopra.com. You could all go to Vinney Chopra, VINNEY, chopra.com/free book. So that way everybody can download it, and I hope they can get their first apartment or next apartment.
Awesome. Make sure we go put that in the show notes, guys. Everyone, if you're not listening or you're not following Vinney, make sure you go find him all over social media. And if you've enjoyed this podcast show, please screenshot it, give it some love. Let us know what books you're reading, and maybe if you read some of the books that Vinney threw out today. If not, go back and make sure you grab those. Vinney, thanks again, brother. Really great to have you on.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
God bless you.
All right. God bless you, brother.